Okay, so I know we said we'd never do another formal event after the whole Diamond the Era disaster at the summer showcase, but hear me out. The annual Gravity Falls Galloping Gala is completely different. It's basically prom for magical creatures, and they have this amazing tradition where everyone gets to show off their best moves on the dance floor. Plus, there's supposed to be this legendary punch bowl that grants wishes, which honestly sounds too good to pass up. I've already been practicing my synchronized trotting routine, and I even made matching flower crowns for all three of us. Come on, it'll be magical in the best way possible.
I have researched the Galloping Gala extensively in the Gravity Falls historical archives, and Mabel is correct that it is a prestigious event. However, she conveniently left out the part where there is a very complicated hoof dance that all attendees must perform at midnight, and if you mess it up, you are considered to have brought bad luck upon yourself for an entire year. I have been watching tutorial videos online, but the steps are very intricate, and my hooves keep getting tangled. Also, I may have accidentally signed us up for the group performance category, which means we have to coordinate our routine together, and I am very sorry about that.
Ugh, of course you signed us up for the group category without asking, Candy. Look, I'm not trying to be difficult here, but do you know who attends the Galloping Gala? Everyone who's anyone in the magical creature community, including my parents, who will absolutely judge every single step I take. They've been sending me passive-aggressive notes all week about representing the Northwest family with grace and dignity, whatever that means. The last thing I need is to embarrass myself in front of the entire town because we didn't practice enough. If we're doing this, we're doing it right, which means daily rehearsals starting immediately.
Daily rehearsals? Pacifica, the gala is in 3 days. But okay, yes, fine. We can practice every day if that's what it takes to make this perfect. I actually think it could be really fun to put together a routine that showcases all of our different strengths. Like, I could do the sparkle jumps because my horn glows really bright, Candy could handle the technical footwork because she's super precise, and Pacifica, you could lead the formation changes since you're actually good at being bossy. I mean, authoritative. See? We're already planning like a real team.
That is a logical division of responsibilities, and I appreciate that you are taking this seriously now. I have created a spreadsheet with our practice schedule, including warm-up exercises, formation drills, and cool-down stretches. I also took the liberty of studying past winning performances, and I noticed that the most successful groups incorporated at least one lift or aerial element. Now, I know what you are thinking. How can centaurs do aerial elements? But I have some ideas involving strategic galloping momentum and possibly a ramp.
Absolutely not. No ramps, no aerial elements, no strategic galloping momentum. That's definitely going to end with someone in the hospital. We are keeping this elegant and simple, which is what actually wins at these events, not whatever chaotic disaster you're imagining. I've been to enough Northwest family galas to know that judges value precision and grace over flashy tricks. We'll do the traditional formations, nail the midnight hoof dance, and maybe add one small flourish at the end. That's it. That's the plan.
Okay, but what if, and just hear me out on this, what if we did the elegant stuff Pacifica wants, but we made it fun by adding our own personal flair? Like, we could do the traditional steps but with sparkles and maybe some synchronized tail swishes that spell out a message. I'm not saying we should go full chaos mode, but we also don't want to be boring, right? The whole point of doing this together is that we're the horse girls, and we bring something unique to everything we do. Plus, if we're going to spend 3 days practicing until our hooves hurt, we should at least enjoy ourselves.
Mabel makes an excellent point about maintaining our group identity while respecting tradition. Perhaps we could find a compromise that incorporates both structure and creativity. I will revise the spreadsheet to include time for choreographing a signature move that represents our friendship. Also, I should mention that I spoke to Grenda yesterday, and she is very excited to attend the gala as our enthusiastic supporter. She has promised to cheer loudly from the audience, which may or may not help our performance depending on how the judges feel about the vocal encouragement.
Great. So now we have to worry about Grenda's cheering on top of everything else. You know what? Fine. We'll add the sparkles and the tail swishes and whatever other friendship magic you want to include, but we're still doing this my way when it comes to the actual technical execution. I'm not letting my parents see me fail at this, and more importantly, I'm not letting you two fail either. We're going to walk into that gala looking like we've been doing this our entire lives, and we're going to leave with everyone talking about how amazing we were. Now let's start practicing before I change my mind about all of this.
Yes, this is exactly the energy we need. Okay, so I'm thinking we start with a synchronized entrance where we all trot in together with our heads held high, and then we transition into a circle formation where Candy does her technical footwork in the center while Pacifica and I create a moving border around her. Then we switch positions so everyone gets a moment to shine. Oh, and for the big finale, what if our horns all glow at the same time in different colors? Mine's orange, Candy's is light blue, and Pacifica's is white. That would look so cool together.
The simultaneous horn illumination is scientifically possible if we practice the timing correctly, as unicorn horn glow is triggered by emotional focus and concentration. I have been working on controlling the brightness and duration of my glow, though I must admit it sometimes flickers when I get nervous. We will need to practice the finale extensively to ensure consistency. Also, Mabel, I think your idea about the moving border formation is very clever, and it would allow us to demonstrate both individual skill and group coordination, which are key judging criteria according to the Gala rulebook I downloaded.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but that actually sounds like a solid plan. The horn thing is impressive without being too gimmicky, and the rotating spotlight formations are classic gala choreography. My mother used to do something similar at the Northwest charity balls before everything changed. She'll probably recognize the technique, which might actually work in our favor. Okay, if we're really doing this, we need to nail down the timing for every single transition. Candy, send me that spreadsheet, and Mabel, stop bouncing around and save your energy for actual practice. We've got a lot of work to do.
I'm just excited. This is going to be so awesome. You know what the best part is? We get to do this together, as friends, and that's what's going to make our performance special. It's not about being perfect or impressing everyone's parents or following every single rule in the guidebook. It's about showing up as ourselves and having fun while we're doing it. Plus, after we totally nail this performance, we can finally try that legendary wish-granting punch. And I'm definitely wishing for unlimited sweater yarn. What are you two going to wish for?
I had not thought about the wish yet, as I was too focused on the performance logistics. But now that you mention it, I suppose I would wish for a comprehensive encyclopedia of all magical creatures in Gravity Falls, complete with detailed anatomical diagrams and behavioral patterns. That would be very useful for my research and would help us understand ourselves better as unicorn centaurs, although I am somewhat skeptical about the Punch Bowl's actual wish-granting capabilities, as I could not find any scientific documentation of verified wishes in my research. It may simply be a pleasant legend.
Of course it's just a legend, Candy. Magic Punch doesn't grant wishes, that's ridiculous. But if it did, hypothetically, I guess I'd wish for my parents to actually be proud of me for once without adding a million conditions and criticisms. Not that it matters, because again, it's obviously not real, and I'm definitely not getting my hopes up about some fairy tale punch bowl. Can we please get back to focusing on the routine now? We're losing valuable practice time talking about impossible wishes when we should be working on very possible dance steps.
Pacifica, that's actually a really sweet wish, even if you're pretending it's hypothetical. And Candy, even if the punch is just regular punch, it'll still be fun to try it together after our amazing performance. But you are right, we should probably start practicing for real now. Okay, let me just grab my speaker for the music, and we can run through the entrance sequence. Oh, one more thing, do you think we should coordinate our accessories? I have ribbons, flowers, glitter gel, and about 50 other options we could work with.
Accessories would be an excellent addition to our presentation, as visual cohesion is important for group performances. However, we must ensure that any accessories do not interfere with our movement or distract from the choreography itself. Perhaps we could each wear a single flower behind our ear in our respective signature colors. That would be elegant yet distinctive. Also, Mabel, I must ask, what genre of music are you planning to use? The gala has very specific regulations about appropriate musical selections, and I want to make sure we are in compliance.
The music has to be classical or traditional fantasy orchestral, nothing modern, nothing with lyrics, and definitely nothing that sounds like it came from Mabel's glitter-covered playlist. I actually have access to the Northwest family's collection of gala-appropriate music, which includes some genuinely beautiful pieces. There's this one composition called Moonlight Gallop that has a perfect tempo for our routine and enough dramatic moments for the formation changes. I can bring it to practice today if you promise not to make fun of how fancy it sounds.
Fancy music is perfect for a fancy gala, and I promise I won't make fun of it unless it's so fancy that it makes me giggle, which is totally different from making fun of it. Okay, flowers behind the ears, classical music, synchronized formations, we've got a real plan here. I'm actually getting kind of nervous now that we're really doing this. What if I mess up the steps in front of everyone? What if my horn doesn't glow at the right time? What if I accidentally trip over my own hooves during the midnight dance and become the bad luck center for a whole year?
Mabel, statistically speaking, the probability of you executing the routine perfectly increases dramatically with proper practice and preparation. The bad luck superstition is not scientifically valid, and even if you do make a small mistake, it will not define the entire performance. We are doing this as a team, which means we support each other through any difficulties. Besides, I have made mistakes in previous performances, and the world did not end. Remember when I fell off the obstacle course at the summer showcase? That was embarrassing, but we all survived.
Candy's right, which is weird to say, but it's true. Look, we're all nervous about this, okay? I'm terrified that my parents are going to find some way to criticize everything I do, even if we're perfect. But that's exactly why we need to practice and prepare and make sure we're as ready as possible. The more confident we are in the routine, the less power our nerves have over us. So let's stop talking about all the things that could go wrong and start working on making sure everything goes right. First practice session starts now, and I'm setting a timer for 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay, I can do 2 hours. We can do 2 hours. This is going to be great. I can feel it. Even if we're all nervous and scared and worried about messing up, we're doing it together, and that makes everything better. Plus, I made friendship bracelets for all of us to wear during practices, so we'll have constant reminders that we're a team. They're made from my tail hair, Candy's tail hair, and Pacifica's tail hair all braided together, which sounds kind of weird when I say it out loud, but it's actually really symbolic and beautiful.
That is simultaneously touching and slightly concerning from a hygiene perspective, but I appreciate the gesture. Mabel, I will wear the friendship bracelet proudly during our rehearsals. Now, shall we begin with some basic warm-up exercises? I have developed a stretching routine specifically designed for unicorn centaur physiology that will help prevent muscle strain and improve our flexibility. It involves a series of leg extensions, torso rotations, and horn alignment exercises. Please follow my lead and try not to rush through the movements.
Horn alignment exercises? You know what, I'm not even going to ask. Let's just do the warm-up so we can get to the actual dancing. And Mabel, thank you for the bracelet thing, even though it is objectively weird. I'll wear it. But if anyone asks about it at the gala, we're telling them it's a traditional horse girl ritual or something that sounds less strange than we braided our tail hair together. Now come on, we're wasting time. Show us these horn alignment exercises, Candy, and let's get started.
Yay, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. Horse Girls practice session number 1 for the Galloping Gala. Here we come. I can already tell this is going to be the start of something amazing. We're going to work hard, support each other, nail this performance, and have the best time ever at the gala. And maybe, just maybe, if that punch bowl really does grant wishes, all 3 of our wishes will come true. But even if they don't, we'll still have each other, and honestly, that's pretty magical already.
That was unexpectedly sentimental, Mabel, but I agree with the sentiment. Our friendship is indeed the most valuable aspect of this entire experience. However, sentiment alone will not help us execute a flawless performance, so we must now channel these positive feelings into focused practice. I am starting the timer now. Let us begin with the first warm-up exercise. Stand with your hooves shoulder width apart, extend your front legs forward, and slowly shift your weight back onto your hind legs while keeping your spine straight. Hold for 10 seconds.
This is already harder than it looks. How are you making stretching complicated, Candy? Okay, fine, I'm doing it. 10 seconds. I can do 10 seconds. You know, when I imagined us preparing for the gala, I thought it would be more glamorous and less whatever this is. But I guess if we're going to do this right, we have to start with the basics. Even if the basics involve weird stretches and friendship bracelets made of tail hair. Let's just get through these warm-ups and move on to the actual choreography. The sooner we start, the sooner we'll be ready.